look at Fantom, you said the short-term outlook. Short-term outlook isn't bad. The weekly 21, which is now flashing, that's the yellow, is right in line with the weekly 10. It's going to get, assuming it gets up there, which it looks like it's going to, it's going to have a lot of problems there. If you have two powerful EMAs after a bearish cross, so let's zoom out. Let's go to something like the daily. Take off price, and let's put that at, this is an extremely bearish cross. Okay, like this is worse than a death cross. People talk about death crosses all the time. This is worse. They often happen about together, actually. So the death cross happened here. I'll take those off. That's where they crossed. And the weekly, see how close that is? So, I mean, really, they happen. They usually are in conjunction with each other. But, I mean, it's just worse. Like, they're bigger EMAs. They're more powerful. But it's kind of funny how typically when you get a death cross, the tradition, not an EMA death cross, the actual definition, using these simple moving averages. Anyway, the price of Fantom is under this. It is trying to use this area of support right now. So if I put price back on, it's getting back up into this area. It looks like it's doing a good job. It looks like it's building a base. And assuming Bitcoin doesn't ruin the party, it's going to spike right up there. It could wick above. Take this moment to give me a quick thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check out the Discord community within the description section, follow me on Twitter at cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward, and if online community is not your thing, but you want exclusive content above and beyond what I offer on YouTube, click the join button right below this video. Another video will pop up describing your options to you. To try to rival testing this horizontal made from the most recent local high, it could do something like this, if I can teach myself how to use TradingView better. It could want to go all the way up to 205. I wouldn't put my money on that. That is a very bullish option before it starts slowing down. I would say it's forming a base here. It looks good, really. Honestly, this could take off tomorrow. If you get one daily closure above all this, a daily candle closure above these, the next couple days could race right up to this 10. But that is where I would be taking profits. And it can undo this cross. That does happen. But just know that this asset is not going to be bullish until candles are closing above both of these and the red's back on top. It's that simple. This is in a bear trend. You could obviously use other definitions, like the daily has a higher local high and a higher local low, so it's in a daily uptrend. Okay, it's in an uptrend for the daily, but that's all things relative, right? Depending on where you're talking. In the overall macro sense, in terms of the way you're trading that, as long as the red is below the yellow, trading down is the more profitable way to do it. It's that simple. And that's for everything. Yeah, that's where I would say. So I would say this might want to come right up to $1. So this will keep creeping down. Let me go to a smaller time frame, like the 15-minute. Yeah, it used this as so yeah, it's using this as support. So it's going to break out of here sometime soon. It looks kind of ready, and it's probably going to do it tomorrow because of these daily candle closures. Let me go back to the daily. It's probably going to want to close just a tiny bit above. So at today's close, you'll be able to zoom in, and you should see, this would be my guess, right? This isn't some statistically probable technical analysis I'm giving you in this exact moment, but my hunch would be this day will close slightly higher than these, and then the next day would either attempt to start getting closer to $1.35 or be the day that breaks out. But I don't see today being the breakout day because it's essentially forming, kind of like a 4-hour range here, and it needs to have a nice daily closure before it'll take off, and then that move could take it straight up. I mean, that'd be a good trade. Up to close to $1.60 would be my first guess. My second guess, so let's say this is my first guess, somewhere $1.60. My second guess would be a wick above the weekly 21. That'd be my second guess as most probable. And the third, and this is all assuming Bitcoin doesn't ruin the party. My third guess for the third most probable, for the price movement up before it starts to chill out is about $2.03. But I would definitely say most probable, second most probable, third most probable, using horizontal for the third, a wick above the weekly 21 for the second, and just straight up somewhere around the weekly 10 for the third one, around $1.60, $1.65, something to that effect would be my guess. And to the downside, when do the probabilities flip? Is when you zoom in to something like the 15-minute time frames, and if you start using let's just call it $1.25, that's when your probabilities flip to the downside. So some people call that your invalidation or whatever. I just like to say that's when your probabilities change. I don't know. It makes more sense to me. Like, when do my probabilities change? Like, I'm not going to name it fancy things. This is when your probabilities change. But until that happens, so even if it comes all the way down, because Bitcoin, remember, because Bitcoin could have that spill back down to the weekly 10, and it's healthy. That would be healthy. And if that were to happen, that would not be, this would probably come back down to $1.25. But if it goes below, you don't want to see it come up and use it as resistance, which you can see here. When it did go below that support, it got right back above it on its first try. And that's what you would want to see. And again, that number is $1.25. Some people say invalidation points, but that is my probabilities flip line. But specifically, not just going below it, kind of like I did here, but using it as resistance. If it does break below, yeah, your probabilities start getting worse, but I don't think they totally flip. But if price does just go down and it hasn't had a chance to come back up to test it as support, yeah, your probabilities are lower of a breakout to the upside, but they completely flip after $1.25 is both broken and price comes up and uses it as resistance. That's what I got for Fantom on the short-term time frame. Hopefully I gave you what you wanted.